Let's learn how to make this spotlight effect and turn it into a minimalist poster design. So I've got a new document set up. My dimensions here are 1080 by 1440, standard vertical size for Instagram. I have a white background to begin with, but right off the bat, I'm gonna make a new layer and fill it with black. You can go to the fill tool, paint bucket tool, switch the foreground color to black. D is a shortcut, by the way, to reset your foreground and background colors. Click once for the black fill layer. And now for the spotlight, I'm gonna again make a new layer, and with my brush, let's use a white brush, so switching the foreground color to white. I'm gonna make it as soft as possible. You want the hardness set to 0. Size, we want it decently big. I like to use the bracket keys on the keyboard as a shortcut to make the brush bigger or smaller. Let's go with about there. Just wanna click once in the center of the canvas. And now to turn this white soft circle into a spotlight, all you gotta do is go up to Edit, Transform, and then Perspective. And now with these corners, you can just click and drag to change the perspective, and you can see we're warping this white light. You're gonna drag it all the way to the left, from the right to the left, and now we've got this like hourglass shape. Keep going, and then if you hit return, you can see if we just get rid of that top part or move it up with the move tool selected, can click and drag upward. We now have this nice spotlight coming down from the top of the canvas. Now you can make this bigger, you can make it smaller, you can make it wider. Command T is a shortcut to transform. You can also go up to Edit, Transform, or Free Transform. And then just clicking and dragging from these corners, we can blow it up to as big as we want, really. I think I want it so it's not like the very point at the top of the canvas, but starting with a slightly wider area of light. So now let's drag in our subject. I have this photo of Adam Miller that I took at championship weekend last season. I'm just gonna scale this up so it takes up the whole canvas. We'll hit return there. And now going to my quick selection tool, W is a shortcut. You can go up to select subject in the middle of the screen. Now we have our subject selected. Let's click the mask icon in the bottom right. I'm not even gonna refine the edge much because I think this did a pretty good job. You can see the edges aren't perfectly clean, but I don't think it's gonna matter because of the way we're gonna blend him into this environment. Now by far the easiest way to blend today is to use Photoshop's built-in harmonize feature. So if you select the layer that you want to blend and then go up to Layer, Harmonize, Photoshop is going to do its thing using generative AI to blend the player into the background using the lighting and conditions of that background and see how it's reflected authentically. So it gives you 3 options. First one, it's leaning a little bit blue for some reason. This second one feels a lot better. Third one, even darker. Not bad. Maybe you're going for like a darker, edgier vibe with this poster. I think this middle one strikes a pretty good balance, and we can always fine tune this lighting. I am going to clip the harmonized layer to the photo by holding Option, hovering in the space and clicking. I just want to make sure the harmonized layer is only affecting our exact cutout, like specifically the marching ants. Now a couple things we could do to sell the spotlight effect even more than harmonized did. We can add an exposure layer, go into your adjustments, exposure, and again clipping this to our initial cutout. Let's just bring the exposure way down. So for the darkest parts of the image, which will probably be his lower body, let's invert this mask. Now brushing in white on a black mask on the exposure, we're gonna reveal this exposure layer, which right now is darkening the image. So just softly on the lower body, clicking a few times. Don't want to go too extreme. And then if you want, you could duplicate this exposure layer. At least that's what we're gonna do in this example. Delete this layer mask and bring the exposure back up, but still a little bit darker. I feel like the original harmonization still feels a little bit too bright. So that top exposure layer is just giving a little bit darker feel to the whole image, whereas this masked out one is just darkening the bottom portion. On the initial cutout layer, so the full image that everything is clipped to, we can also add inner shadow going from the top to the bottom. So to do that, go to your effects in the bottom right, go to inner shadow. And now I've got this blend mode set to overlay. I've got the color set to white, 100% opacity. You can play with the distance, but you can see it's creating this shadow, which is really just a lighting effect because we have the white color set to overlay. You can see that's coming down from the 90-degree angle, so from the top. And you could change the size, you could play with it, make it more or less refined. You can also play with the blend mode, like you might have a photo where screen is a better look. Obviously you'd want to play with these settings a bit, but if you wanted some sort of rim light, a more pronounced one. I like overlay. It's kind of a good subtle approach to add a bit of artificial lighting. You can see before and after that inner shadow. Let's group all these cutout layers together and just put it in a folder, call it cutout. Moving on to our text, I'm gonna make a new layer. Beneath the cutout, we will type out Miller in all caps. The font I'm using is Dharma Gothic C. I think that's condensed, heavy. And I'm gonna blow this way up. We'll center it just by selecting the whole screen with Command A. That's how I have these marching ants. With the move tool selected, you have these icons at the top. So if you ever see me center justifying something, that's how I do it. You can move this Miller text up. I'm gonna bring up my grids here. Command apostrophe is a shortcut. And let's just keep a consistent margin. So we'll put some text at the top here, and then we'll also have some complementary text at the bottom. And I'm gonna use this 3-box margin from the top. I'm gonna transform it again, just scale it up and reposition. I'm gonna do this text effect where I stretch out all these letters downward. So I'm gonna duplicate this layer, Command J, and then right clicking on the layer, you can convert it to a shape. That's gonna allow us, when you hit A for the direct selection tool, to drag these points, these individual anchor points down. So I'm just gonna select all these lower points on the bottom part of the letters. And when you drag these down, it is keeping the shapes of all the letters, but just dragging the points down to the point where we want them. And I'm just gonna add this gradient fade to make it a little bit more gradual of a transition. Let's take this mask icon at the bottom, go to your gradient tool. So if you hit G or hit Shift and then hit G, that will get you your gradient tool. Black to transparent is what we want. As long as you have your foreground color set to black, you go up here to the gradient selector. You should see black to transparent in your basics. Now, black to transparent gradient on a white mask, that's gonna hide whatever we have the gradient on. So if you click and drag from the bottom, you get this nice gradual fade. I'm also holding Shift to keep this line perfectly straight. We could also play with this blend mode. I think the normal one is fine, but you could do like a color dodge and then reduce the fill. And it just kind of takes on more of the lighting conditions of the background when you have this effect. So I think let's just go with a 50% fill. You could see like the M and the R fading out with the darkness of the background. You can see it's a lot brighter in the middle. So just kind of a fun blend mode you can play with. Now I'm also gonna put some text at the bottom of the canvas. So let's just duplicate this Miller text from before. I'm holding Option and clicking and dragging to a new spot in the layers panel. And I'm gonna type out, let's actually reduce this font size to like 100, add a Miller, and then we'll hit space/space, Atlanta Hustle. And for this font, I'm gonna do Dharma Gothic, one of these E fonts, maybe E bold, and I can shrink this down even further. Maybe we go to the character panel and just space out the space between letters. Can drop it way down to something like 35. And then again, bringing up my grids, let's do that same 3-box margin that we have from the top on the bottom as well. Maybe a little bit more spacing in the characters. Now I know we darkened the lower body of the player cutout, but I'm actually gonna like fade it out completely so we can get the text on like a clean black background. So let's make a new layer on top of cutout, and let's just take our gradient tool, again, black to transparent. Again, set the foreground color to black. If you don't have it already, it should be in the basics. And I'm just gonna click and drag while holding Shift to get this nice gradual dark fade. So now we have like a very clean background for the text, slowly fading into the cutout. And we can reposition things too, like if we want to move the cutout down a bit, can maybe even scale them up a little bit, something like this. And just because we have all of our layers connected to that original cutout, this is scaling up that harmonized layer, it's scaling up the exposure adjustments, all that good stuff. Now, one thing I'm noticing with the initial harmonize adjustment, it still has like a more blue leaning black on this jersey, probably from the initial photo. So I want to make that just totally grayscale. Let's take a hue and saturation layer and go to the blues and just desaturate them completely. Probably the cyans too. Yeah, you can see what those are doing. So if you just take those out, I mean, now you have like a much more grayscale image with this pop of orange and like a little bit of skin tone. We could also go ahead and desaturate the entire thing. Like if we wanted to just take a gradient map on top of this whole thing, and you could do a black to white, or maybe we use like a slightly dark gray. If we want to add some grain later, that is how you can get it to show up. You know, not exactly a pure black, but you can play with these dials too if you wanted to make like a totally grayscale design. Can even adjust this midpoint value as well. I think I like this look, so we can run with it. I am gonna add some grain, as I mentioned. Let's go to the adjustment layers. You now have grain as an adjustment layer in Photoshop. That's a new feature in 2026. So we can click on that, and I'm just putting this first layer of grain right over the spotlight effect, and I want it like decently strong, but I don't want this so strong going over the player. So I'm gonna add a separate grain layer. We can, again, hold Option, click and drag to duplicate this. We'll put the second one on top of everything. And you can see when you zoom in to the darkest points, like because we have this gradient map that's not a pure black, you do get this graininess, whereas if we did have this as a pure black, you wouldn't get any of that, which, you know, maybe you like this look better. I think right now it's looking a little too dark. So I'll go back to whatever we had, like a 4% black. One other final adjustment you can play around with, Photoshop has also added the clarity and dehance adjustment layer. So at the end of your design, you can add some clarity, just adding a bit of extra contrast and detail to the design. Dehaze you can play with. I mean, this isn't a super extreme design as far as like color palette and lights and darks go, so you won't see as big of an effect, but you can see the clarity is just kind of giving it this extra pop and all the finishing effects together. This is the before, this is the after. So I like this grayscale look for the spotlight effect. I feel like it really accentuates the light values and the dark values within this design. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Very simple poster design, but really wanted to highlight this cool spotlight effect. You can really take in any direction. I mean, this could be one single component of like a more built out scene, and you might have different background elements going on in addition to just the player cutout. But I really wanted to like strip things down, simplify the process, and really showcase what you can do with this simple brush and perspective warp maneuver. Thanks as always for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.